I read this poem today at London Festival of Ideas. It's called, "Do We Really Need Another Pandemic to Wake Up?" Pandemic, pandemonium, palavas in big offices, bodies piling up in morgues, weary nurses and disenchanted professionals. Oh, what a pandemic, what chaos. Lives uprooted, businesses closed, currencies impotent, in the face of a bag smaller than a pinhead, whose effect reaches all the recesses of our social structure, undiscriminating, unforgiving, mowing down all in its path like a flood from hell. Do we need another death of the old and forgotten? Or no, of the ethnic minorityness? To realize that in this case, nobody is safe, all our structures are fake and we have nowhere to hide. The havoc in communities where the death cloud has lain, pelting both black and white with its pellets of the grim reaper, crushing our lungs and throats with a virus grip, leaving behind carcasses where just a few days ago, a beating heart ruled. Silence. The virus marches on, stealing another life gone. We clap hands for an NHS hero who saved lives, but lost their own. When shall we wake up to the dawn of community that my sickness is your death and the air I breathe is your health? When shall we wake up to the fact that a new world awaits, knowing no class or color, calling us by name to clamor for a better society at last? When shall we awaken to the deserved dignity for the elderly who spent all their energies building the luxuries we take granted for setting foundations on which this country stands? When shall we awaken to the minorities doing dirty jobs, living in poverty, sometimes earning less than the minimum wage, all looking for ways to feed their families and for clothes on their backs? When shall we awaken to the natural core of the spirit of community that says your dignity is mine too, and your love and compassion touches my soul and yours? When shall we awaken to the common humanity that calls my spirit to help a sick, immobile neighbor or just to take out the bin for a disabled neighbor? Do we need another virus to realize that one sick human being can make the whole country sick, even if we've never met them? That like a cell in the body, we are all connected in ways we cannot explain. Do we need another virus to realize that those we treat with indignity, denying them settlement, are a reserve pool of nurses and carers for the sick and dying in care homes and hospitals? Do we need another virus to see that those who have succumbed to mental illnesses and now drain the nation's fiscus are potential taxpayers whose limit of indignity we allowed to elapse? Do we really need another pandemic to realize that the weak, the sick, the marginalized are a part of us and we die when they die too? We don't need another pandemic to make us better people, wiser to the suffering, injustice, and inhumane treatment of others. Please remember the unseen treatment we subject others as this silent virus eats their lives, it eats ours in return. As it strangles their humanity, it shortens our breath too. We don't need another pandemic to know that a sneeze in one small town can resound all over the world, just as the knee on George Floyd's neck reverberated in the big and small towns around the world. We have seen pockets of solidarity in action at Black Lives Matter rallies and a human shield in Glasgow of examples of communities coming together. And remember, we are joined at the hip. A scratch on my head and the resultant bleeding soaks both your legs with the blood of my pain, soaked together. It matters not whose blood it is, for I bleed and you bleed too. We don't need another pandemic to remind us that after all, we are just human beings, daily called to be human. Thank you.